Hello and welcome to another episode of Scott Reads Comics. Today I would like to cover Marvel Double Action, published in 2021 by Marvel Comics. This is Marvel Double Action number 1, a variant edition that I found in a dollar bin. This is essentially a one-shot homage to old school Marvel, published in 2021. Aside from Copra, I really don't cover a lot of news comic stories on the channel, but I came across this one in a dollar bin, like I said, started paging through it, and it really grabbed me because it's just really good. And so we're going to look at it and enjoy it because it's a nice homage to the Copper, Bronze Age Marvels that I grew up with. Marvel Comics presents Nighthawk and Falcon, the Dynamic Double. Tim Seeley is our scripter, Dan Jurgens is the penciler, Scott Hanna is the inker, Chris Sotomayor is the colorist, VC's Corey Pettit is the letterer, and Darren Shan is the editor. And we have in Dan Jurgens and Scott Hanna two old hands. They're definitely Copper Age veterans. Dan Jurgens may even stretch into the end of the Bronze Age, back to the end of the Bronze Age, but I think he's really firmly a Copper Age creator. And then, of course, into the Iron Age, and still producing incredible work today. And the thing that warmed my heart the moment I opened this, even though it's got slick paper and it's obviously a modern comic production, were thought balloons. I mean, someone somewhere along the way decided thought balloons weren't cool. They're not used in comics anymore. It's a terrible loss. It's a loss of a great storytelling device. And I mourn their passing, and it warms my heart to see a modern comic. And obviously we can tell just by the fact that these thought balloons are in here that this is a bit of a throwback. I'll read the splash page to get us started. It begins here, Pilgrim, a tale so breathtaking and tragic, we can't yet show you the title. But don't dare skip to the end. We know it's hard to wait, but there's plenty of drama to get through first. Harry Osborn is in a coma. Looks like I got back from the Alternaverse with the rest of the squadron too late. See Squadron Supreme of America 107 on sale. DS. Okay, so we learned a lot just from reading the splash page. This is written in a style that, again, like the artwork and presentation, is a throwback style, which I love. We also learned that we're in the Squadron Supreme's universe, so there's not going to be any Spider-Man. There's no Spider-Man there. The Squadron Supreme are the main heroes. There are a few others, and of course there are plenty of supervillains, but Spider-Man isn't there. And we're going to see Spider-Man's cast of supporting characters do exist in this alternate universe, but they sort of belong in the universe or in the orbit of this Nighthawk character, this alternate version of Nighthawk, which I love. So it is the Kyle Richmond Nighthawk. I love this redesign of the costume too. It's so cool. Too late for Harry anyway, but I can still be there for the people who cared about him most. So we have Gwen Stacy, who recently spurned this version of Harry Osborn, and we have Sam Wilson, who was Harry Osborn's caseworker, basically, because apparently Harry Osborn was struggling with drug usage. He was using the super soldier serum, which I guess is a street drug. And it's great too because they'll have references to issues that obviously don't exist. This reminds me a lot of what we saw from Image Comics in the early '90s when they did the 6-issue the 6-issue miniseries featuring all their characters who were homages to classic comics. A lot of it done by Alan Moore, Dave Gibbons, and some other classic creators. But anyway, they're referring to comics that don't really exist. Like, I thought he'd worked things out since the last time he used. And the reference is to in the Immortal Investigator comics 437. So this really great. Jurgens and Hanna are really delivering some classic artwork. There's still some modern flourishes. You can see some good cartooning here. But the panel layouts and everything are just wonderful in this. My only regret is it's not on newsprint or newsprint like paper. And they're trying to be authentic to the 60s and 70s, even down to little ads on the bottom. Don't blink or you'll miss him every month in the blur. So again, they're suggesting characters in comics that don't exist outside of this. Another great flourish here. Gwen says, I wish I could do something. Well, Miss Stacy, if there's one thing I've learned from my friend Kyle, it's that you can, whether it's a big gesture or a little one. So she leaves this dollar bill in this, I guess, donation box. And you can see on the dollar bill, in Mephisto we trust, and then Nick Fury's visage on there as well. Pretty awesome. Okay, it was a $10 bill. Then we have another little ad here. Horror is unleashed when ape meets machine. Lots of really cool touches. Oh, and here's read The Revenge of Apex in the Haunting Hour, number 13. Apex is a Squadron Supreme villain. Relive the glory and take wing with the American. I'm really getting distracted by these little ads running along the bottom because they're so cool. But we get Kyle Richmond, who's a congressman. Now, this version of Kyle Richmond, we get some flashbacks to his previous exploits, including his fights with the Green Goblin, where what he thought was going to be the final fight, Harry Osborn, the Green Goblin, ends up in a coma. He saves his life, but Harry Osborn does not remember he's the Goblin, so Kyle Richmond lets it go, basically lets him continue to live his life. But he's going to regret that, obviously. And here he's recounting some more of his recent past. It led me to push everyone away, even my allies in the SSA, even Zarda. I think I would have decided to go it alone for the rest of my life. But then I met the Falcon. He reminded me why I donned this mask in the first place, to inspire people to stand up for themselves. In Nighthawk 87, of course. The truth is, I don't know what I'd do without Sam. So, we have the classic, I love it, a reference to the classic Falcon costume here. Really cool, the green and orange costume. And we get a really nice little reference to one of my favorite Marvel characters, Tigra. Just absolutely crushing it on the art here, our Jargons and Scott Hanna. This page is just incredible. Greer Grant, I'd assume you were thinking of me, handsome, but you haven't called in a week. I'm so sorry, Greer. I've just been deluged with work. I still want to see you. Can I take a rain check? For you, I'm going to make an exception. How's this evening? Well, nights aren't great for me lately. Let's go to lunch tomorrow. Capitol Grill at noon, okay? I hope that doesn't leave you in the lurch. No, it's fine. Have a good day, Major Richmond. And here she sees this article about the Power Princess. I'm sure I'll find something to keep me busy. So awesome. She touches her magical totem, and you can see that she's Tigra. Really great. I just love it. The world building in just this one-shot issue is so great, it made me want more. And I think, obviously, that's the goal in this. And here, after a long bout with amnesia, Harry Osborn, the Green Goblin, remembers who he is. And it's cool here because he sees himself as already in his goblin outfit and attire. But, of course, the Doctor comes in and he's just normal Harry Osborn. Of course, his mental state is extremely unstable. So we have Kyle Richmond here on Capitol Hill in his role as a congressman. And we're going to page through. This is great here. He pulls out his gear. Let's see here. Move on. Here we go. Nice action sequence. He's gonna battle Kraven. Sadly, most of this battle occurs off panel. And so the Azure Bird clings like a lover to the shadows outside his Capitol Hill office. Night has not yet fallen, and the alchemy in his blood has not yet activated his moon-born strength. But Kyle Richmond, who upon the death of his parents took a vow to serve as a symbol of righteousness and lead the good people of America to stand up against evil, doesn't wait for the night. You're easy to find, Kraven. I just follow the scent trail of unwashed leopard tights and bad Russian cologne. These beasts are meant to roam free and hunt just like me. Now come, Nighthawk, so may put your head on my wall. This is going to be a battle for the ages, but you'll just have to take our word for it, true believer. So again, battles occurring off panel here. In this sequence, we get to Sam Wilson as the Falcon. He is at the Night Cave. He is officially partners with Nighthawk, so he has access. He's in there with his gear. And Red Wing, his loyal Falcon. Me, a kid from the U Street corridor, chilling out in the coolest headquarters old money can buy. Gotta admit, partnering up with Richmond has been good for me. Though it isn't like he doesn't get something out of it too. After all, I'm the one who puts the wings in this little flock. Little flock being the operative words. Sometimes I think we ought to expand the operation, but who? Not Harry. Dude's got enough on his plate. And MJ is not the type to get her hands dirty. Maybe Gwen? Nah, she's just a kid. That dad of hers. And so Red Wing alerts him. Red Wing, if I know one thing, it's that you're getting nervous means I'd best suit up because something bad is. And then bam, this is what takes it out of the sort of Copper Bronze Age into the modern age, because Red Wing is just murdered here by the Green Goblin. And he blasts the Falcon, unconscious, captures him. Let's see what we can do about finding your higher perch. Ha ha ha. So he goes off, and Kyle Richmond, Nightwing, shows up at home and sees what's happened, obviously, and has to go try to find his friend. And when speed is called for, the Hawk Rod answers. The diminishing sun glints off the chrome steel, but can do nothing to lighten the grim shadow falling over Nighthawk's face. He knows he goes to meet destiny. So, and there's this great here, this ties in the little addle on the bottom. Turn your toy shelf into the world's slickest showroom with a die-cast Hawk Rod from Cool Wheels. Really great. I love the Hawk Rod. Very awesome addition to the Nighthawk mythos they're building here. And he gets on scene at a local bridge, and awaiting him is the Green Goblin. And this is going to be eerily similar to what we saw in a classic confrontation where Gwen Stacy lost her life when Spider-Man and the Goblin tangled. You've driven my son to self-destruction with your constant badgering and self-insertion into our lives. And for that, I must ask that you take leave of existence permanently, or the Falcon dies. I'm tired, stretched thin from fighting Kraven, and I'm still without my powers. But though Norman has always been unstable, something in his voice tells me he's gone all the way overboard. This time, he means it. A worthy attempt, Mr. Delegate, but I can dodge you faster than you dodge the press. I'd say that people will be sad to see you go. But have you seen your approval ratings? He's stronger, faster, and he's got nothing to lose. I'm done for. No, I'm not. I train with the greatest fighters in the world. The Order of the Crane Mother, the Black Marvel, Princess Zarda. I'm more than my superpowers. I'm still Nighthawk when the sun is up. All I have to do is give it everything I have. And this is fantastic artwork here, really great. And showing up on the scene is Police Commissioner Luke Cage, really cool. The ad on the previous page mentioned that he even has his own book, which is great. Here's Gwen Stacy's father. He hates all superheroes. And our battle rages on. Now the Falcon will never see another sunset. I've almost got you free, Sam. Almost. Whack! No! So here it happens here. He's falling to his death. And we can see it set up here with this great long panel. And Nighthawk is going to catch him with his grapple. I've got to save him before he hits the water. I've got to. I did it. And we see here, snack. He snaps his neck and he perishes just as Gwen Stacy did in that story from so many years ago. What thrills, what drama, what timing? Well, except for the part where you didn't realize the sun was down and you were using your full night strength to pull on that poor man's body. A force certainly just as lethal as an impact with the Chesapeake Bay. I thought a fitting revenge would be to force you to watch me kill your partner in front of you, but I'll admit I was wrong. Great work here on the Goblin's just mad, maniacal, evil visage in this panel. And awesome full page here with Nighthawk cradling the dead Falcon. And he now goes off the rails himself. Nighthawk moves with a speed born not only of the darkness-fueled serum in his blood, but also of pure rage. Gone are the cunning quips and the swashbuckler's flair. Gone is the elegant grace of a bird in flight. And gone are the well-considered plans. Nighthawk dives after his falling foe with reckless abandon, joining him in a deadly pirouette through open air. He no longer sees the darkening surface of the bay, nor the cracked asphalt of the bridge, racing up to meet him. He sees only one thing. He sees vengeance. Sweet fancy Moses. Great line here from Commissioner Cage. And Nighthawk almost loses it. He wants to finish Goblin off. But of course we have again the classic replay of the events similar to what happened when the Goblin ended up killing himself versus Spider-Man. Goblin yammers, though no part of him believes he can change Nighthawk's mind. No, the cunning madman only hopes his pleading voice will cover up the quietly whirring motor of his remote-controlled glider, forged by battle into a stake of serrated tin. But awesome panel here. He grabs it and crushes it. Nighthawk grips the metal so hard that it cuts through his leather glove and into the palm of his hand. The physical pain isn't enough, though, to dull his mental anguish. So he comes so close to killing the Goblin, but remembering his own words from his inspiring speech earlier in the issue, "Let's justice prevail." And we get our title finally here at the end. Pretty great. And with that, it's now time, friends. The title we hoped we'd never see. The death of the dynamic double. But one survived, you say, and yet, true believers, Nighthawk lives in body. But inside him, where once there was light fueled by the night, there is now only cold darkness. Great work by Tim Seeley on the script, too. I'm not super familiar with his work because I don't read a lot of modern books, but really nice. We have an epilogue with a candlelight visual for Sam and Nighthawk alone in his cave. And of course, the next issue we'll likely never see. No rest for the wicked. Mr. Octavius goes to Washington and Senator Octopus. So, and they even include a faux letters page, the Hawk's Nest. Pretty awesome. We have letters from Jason Aaron here, Cassandra Marino, Ken Munt. So let's see what the box says at the end here. Well, that's all the room we have this issue. Thanks to all our letter hacks, old and new. Let us know what you thought of this mighty issue of Nighthawk. Until next time, true believers, make yours marvel. So, really nice work on this issue. A fun read. You can find it in dollar bins. I mean, last year it was $5. I found it in a dollar bin today for $1. So, if you come across it, this was the alternate cover. There's a regular cover as well. Well worth picking up. A nice throwback, a nice homage, and a fun little story. And it makes you kind of think, what if they would develop this into a regular universe? It would be awesome to see. I hope you enjoyed it, folks. If you did, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. I'll bring you more soon on Scott Reads Comics. Thanks for watching.